everyone. My name is Maryam Bey, and as you know by now, I'm the host of television. And as you also know, I always say I bring on the best guests. And this evening is another best guest. And I am just so excited to have you on here, Shaheed, because I heard about you in 2008 when I worked at Delaney Hall.
Really?
That was the first time I heard your name.
Oh, wow.
Right? And so this gentleman is the CEO of, I want to make sure,
Canei Production.
Canei Productions. He's a film producer.
Right.
That's right. And he has done several movies, and I saw one of the best movies on, no, I wouldn't say it's a movie. This one was like a documentary.
It's a documentary.
Yes,
right.
A documentary on brothers and sisters in prison and what they're going through. And the name of it is Outside the Walls. I still have the little form. And that was such, that was so profound to me. And the brothers and sisters that you had on there, I knew, many of them.
Right.
And the way you set up, you have to do it again. I mean, it needs to be in the schools, the colleges, because it was just outstanding.
Yeah, that's what we're working on for the future, different venues to put it on and get everything really tightened up, because that was like the first screening. And sometimes the first screenings, when you do stuff, a lot of stuff be out of place and a lot of stuff be here. And I've seen a lot of stuff, so we had to go back in and redo stuff and get it ready
like edit it and all
for the
that
next
stuff.
screenings.
Oh, okay. Okay. What made you want to do a documentary like that?
Well, I always do a lot of documentaries and movies based on the reality of street life and where I come from and a lot of people that I know about, the stories that I hear and the stories that I've been through. I like to enlighten us on that stuff, because we learn a lot. It teaches our kids a lot of lessons, and I'm one for I like to learn street lessons, because that's what got me at the little street life that I had, and propelled me to different levels that I never thought I could be able to get.
Okay, so so you were incarcerated? You were incarcerated?
No, never incarcerated.
Oh, okay.
5 days for some minor stuff, but never incarcerated. I have 10 siblings in my family. 8 of my brothers were incarcerated.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
And 2 of my brothers work in the system.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Keith Hooper and Ira Hooper. They work and one of my brothers used to run Delaney Hall, and my brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your connection with Delaney Hall then?
Well, I mean, I played the film there before. I mean, that's one of the connections.
Okay.
Call your brother up and
right.
or get you okay.
Yeah, because like I said, I worked in Delaney Hall, and this one particular day, I heard someone say a famous film producer's coming in. I said, well, who is it? And they said, Shaheed. I said, oh, okay. I said, and fast forward, now I know who they were talking about. So I said, oh, that's who they were talking about. Shaheed, all right. All right. I mean, and they loved you, like they were so excited that you were coming in, to talk to them and everything.
Yeah, I mean, the community, I mean, I come from the community, so it's like I'm a product of the community. I just didn't get caught in that system.
Yes.
And
which is a good thing.
I was able to get, to get stories, people have to feel comfortable with you. And most of these guys I knew since I was kids, or I grew up with them, and they feel comfortable to be able to tell me their stories about their struggle in the system and what they would do differently if they really knew what they know now.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And in the movie that you did in April, you had some phenomenal brothers on there.
Yeah, I mean, some guys did 50 years, 30 years, 20 years. I mean, they had a lot to talk about that they wanted to get off of their chest. And now these guys are coming home and they want to be able to help the youth that's out here today by telling them their stories, their struggles, what they went through. And experience is the best teacher. So
exactly,
you have that to be able to give to the community, and the kids will listen. I mean, we're not going to get all of them, but if we get 1 or 2 of them, it will be great. And they'll come back and get 1 or 2 more and 1 or 2 more, and then pretty soon, you never know what we might have as far as our community might be back like it used to be. It used to be a time when you had a neighbor or something like that. They could tell you what to do, or neighbors would see something that you did wrong and they would correct you. Now it's none of that. You know, it's like it's the hood.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
But I like what you're doing, the stories and everything, because as you said, the young people need to have examples.
Yeah.
And when brothers and sisters have been inside, when they come home, with them providing that type of information, I know I'm preaching to the choir, you know, but this would help them to think about if the choices that they make, because it's easy to get in trouble, but it's hard to get out of trouble.
I tell my grandkids all the time, I say, look, it's so easy to get in trouble, and it takes a lifetime to get out of it.
Yes.
So try. I mean, it's very hard for us to stay on the right track with all these obstacles in the way, all these distractions and stuff like this in the streets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's very hard to stay focused when you're a child, because most of us come up with broken homes and we don't have the role model, the father to be the leader to say, look, this is what you have to do.
Right, that guidance.
So we wind up growing up, doing what we want to do. You know, it's like weed. You grow wild, you don't tame it, you don't mow the lawn it and stuff like that. It's going to look crazy. And a lot of times we get caught up in that.
Right. So now we have Lionsgate that's coming to Newark.
Right.
What do you think about that?
It's a wonderful thing. You know, it's almost like Hollywood coming back to Jersey. You know, Hollywood was one of the first places. It used to be in Jersey. I mean, you know, all the movie production companies were in Jersey before they went to LA. They only went to LA because the weather was warm, but the weather was cold here, so it was bad weather. There they could build lots and go around. So it's a beautiful thing to see them come back. Just hopefully we will be able to get some opportunities to make things happen with them. You know, if not, we just have to keep on doing our own thing and creating avenues of our own. But that's a beautiful thing. It's another outlet, and plus get abundance of jobs coming to the city of Newark. So I mean, that's beautiful. I mean, you know.
Okay. So do you have any connections with him?
Well,
Lionsgate? Do they know about you?
Yeah, I mean, I know some of the actors and execs and stuff like that, and you know, we've been talking about different projects. As a matter of fact, a lot of films that I had done, I had been holding on to them. So I'm going to probably be selling them what you call as a bundle package, you know, for a certain amount of money, and
nice.
We see what happens, you know.
Oh, that's really good.
Because a lot of times with independent films, they are kind of quote unquote low budget. So what happens when you make them, they're not going to give you that much money, and they don't even know if it's going to be seen. So what they do is they package them together, and if you got a bunch of them together, everybody could get a small percentage. But with me, I got so many in my catalog, it's like I could give a person 10 films and say, all right.
Oh, nice.
You know, get that collection.
Okay, so now what are some of the films that you've done?
I started off with doing Smooth the Game is Dead, and then I did the Turtleneck Gang, I did Red Bow Tie, I did Prey on Capitol Hill, I did Danny Boy, I did, I can go down the line with them. It's like many of them. Sometimes I've been doing films as a director for about close to 30 years.
Oh.
So I got abundance of films that I started out with, films that I've been doing throughout the years. It's like so many of them short films and full features.
Oh, okay.
So I've been doing a whole lot of them. So now it's time for me to cash in on them, because I had been holding them. Everybody had been wanting. I had a company that offered me a deal for them, and I was like, no, that's not enough money for that one. I put too much work into it.
Right.
You know, so now, you know, with all these new avenues, you know, you know, and I'm not really hurting. I'm not hurting for a whole lot of money, because I still work as a model, as an actor.
Yeah, I see you.
Different stuff
I see
like
you
that.
on there.
You know, so I can kind of like hold on to them and do, you know.
Right.
and wait him out,
So do you know Spike Lee?
I know Spike. I worked with Spike when he did Malcolm X. Yeah.
Oh, right.
And as
Okay.
a matter of fact, Ernest Dickinson was one of his cinematographers. He's quote unquote like a cousin to me.
Okay.
Yeah, he's originally from Newark, New Jersey too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Ernest Dickinson.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I know.
So then, what made you get into this type of career? I mean, because you're a handsome man now, as
Thank
far
you.
as modeling and everything, and you have a beautiful wife.
Thank you.
As well.
Thank you.
So
Appreciate
yes.
Yeah, she gonna love to hear that.
Yes.
Oh man, it's funny because I fell into this because I was boxing. I was trying to be a professional prize fighter.
Oh, okay.
And when that career didn't work the way I wanted it to work, I was just looking for something to propel me to the next level, what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, or what I want to do. And my brothers used to always say, man, you should model. I said, well, you should model, because that was like a girly thing.
Right.
And he's like, no, man, the guys do it too. And then I started doing a little research on it, and I started seeing these models like Bernard White, Rashid Sabero, Alice Cephas, George Patterson, Ben Lawson. I started seeing many great models, and they was like the perfect example when you look at them. Mm-hmm. The way they sat, the way they wore their clothes, and the way they looked, and everybody just fell in love with them. And I was like, okay, well, let me give it a shot. Got me some clothes together. I went to a young guy I went to school with. His name was Angelo Ellaby. Mm-hmm. And Angelo had already been in the fashion industry already. So he kind of created my whole mood. He's a publicist now. He's like one of the number one publicists in the country. Mm-hmm. And he created my whole image at that time. And then he kind of walked me into an agency. And from there, from me growing up in the Newark riots and watching these players in the street and just watching the whole game, I picked up kind of pretty fast, and I started learning and started doing what I seen these models in the papers, in the newspaper, in the magazines do. Mm-hmm. And from there, that was it. The pictures, clients started calling my agent to call me to be in magazines and stuff like that. Then after a while, what happens is they start calling you for commercials and stuff like that.
Okay.
And
so you've been in commercials?
Yeah. They start calling the modeling agency for commercials and stuff like that.
Okay.
So after a while, the commercials want you to say a few words. So my agent at the time was Dee Epstein. She was one of the first black agents in New York City. She was like, well, you should take some acting classes. And then I started taking acting classes. I ran into a guy that he was a model and he was doing a play. His name was Gordon, I forgot his last name, but he was doing a play in Canei Hall in New York City. And he said, man, you should come and do the play. And I started doing the play. Then from there, I just started doing plays all over. And really, actually, we started doing the plays in Rikers Island.
At the prison?
At the prison. They was taking us to the Rikers Island. We ride on the boat over there and everything. And those prisoners was like, if you couldn't act,
oh no, they're gonna let you know.
But they loved this play. It was a play that he wrote about the system, about the king of the system.
Okay.
And called Shades of Black. And from there, I just kept on doing the plays. And then one day, a friend of mine, he wanted to do a play here. He didn't know nothing about play, but he just know he wanted to do a play. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, who you want to do a play about? He said, well, I want to do a play about Akbar Prey.
Oh, interesting.
I was like, Akbar Prey. I said, whoa, that's,
yeah.
You sure? At the time.
Right.
And I went to see Akbar.
Okay.
Because I knew him from a child. I went to see him.
Okay.
And, he said, okay, what the play is about. And I got my nephew to write the play, and we got together, did this thing, and showed him. He said, okay, it's cool, as long as you don't make me look like I'm just that drug dealer. Mm-hmm. So I did that, and then after a while, the play wasn't really like running good because we was running it down Symphony Hall, and the play wasn't going good, and so we wasn't making any money. So one of the guys said, well, you can have that play. Go ahead, you go ahead. So I got these other 5 people that were in the play we all put in $50 a piece to do the little theater up on the side of Symphony Hall.
Yes.
And we started getting the play up and running. The play started going good. So we turned that $50 it was 5 of us, we turned that $50. Each one of us got $350. So he's like, what are we gonna do? I said, well, let's put it back into the play and let's make it big. Because at the time, Shirley Franco and Tyler Perry was doing plays. So
I remember,
I
used to
they
go
was doing
down there.
barbershop and beauty shop and all that. And we was doing it at the same time.
Okay.
So I said, let's make it grow like that. And they like, everybody start, you know how we get.
Right.
I need my money. I said, well, we only we started off with $50 a piece. It grew. I need my money. So
it's an investment.
So yeah, I was trying to get them to do it, but they couldn't see that other side. So, you know, I wound up giving them money, and I couldn't afford to do the play by myself.
Right.
So I had got a job for Just for Men. They had put me on the cover of the box of Just for Men, and I made a nice piece of change. So I was able to buy me a camera. And this Jewish guy in New York, his name was Dove Simmons. Dove Simmons had a class he was teaching for $250. It was a 16-hour course class that he taught on filmmaking. And I paid for that class. And I think it was like 2 or 3 days, something like that. I paid for that class. And boy, that was the best thing that could ever happen to me, was when I paid for that class. And I sat and I listened to him. And he told me everything you need to do to become a film producer. I took that class and I went and got me a crew of 12 people. And none of them knew nothing about making films. I knew very little, and I just knew what he had told me. And I took them in my living room and I said, you're gonna be the executive producer, you're gonna be the grip, you're gonna be the sound man, you're gonna be the light man. And once we got to get out there filming, that adrenaline kept on going. Then I met this guy from New York. He came, he knew a little bit about editing and shooting. So he kind of like knew a lot more than I knew, because he had made videos and stuff like that. Guy from Brooklyn named Supreme Wilder. And once we start getting that adrenaline, it's something about when you love to do something and you aspire to get the love from it, you can make it happen. Definitely. But you gotta love doing it. And that's what we was that's what we was running off of, the adrenaline.
Just right.
And a couple times we hit them brick roads, and I was like, look, we gotta keep on going. This thing gonna be fascinating great. And you know, along the way, some people doubt you. They doubt. And I had to keep on like pushing them. I don't know where the energy was coming from.
Because you had the vision.
Yeah, but it was coming. And then the night of the premiere, we sold out the museum, because I had rented the museum. Three dates.
Wow.
Back to back, 3 times in one day. And then they was, you want to take the 4th day? But they didn't want to break no price. They wanted to keep the price out of us. So, well, no, we don't take that. But that movie sold all around. Netflix blew it. And this Netflix was just starting to come, like, you know, all these Hulus and stuff like that. Netflix was like that. They took that movie and took it all around the globe. I mean, Yugoslavia, China, everywhere. We just went everywhere with that film, you know. And I look today, that film, you could still buy that film on Amazon.
Wow. So you're getting royalties for that?
See, that's the thing, is like, when you become a first-time filmmaker, you kind of like, you get ripped off, but you don't get ripped off.
No,
you get ripped off as far as the money,
yes.
But the lesson that you learn,
exactly.
You keep that for a lifetime. And when you go on, if you continue to go on to make other films, you'll know how to
now
maneuver
you know
that.
what to do.
So that's what I did, you know.
Yeah, because I learned that by writing my book.
It was a lesson. I was just happy to see it get out the gate and get a distribution deal.
Yes.
You know, you know, but they still got it. It's still. I was like, wow.
Well, the good thing, the way I look at things like that is like, we're gonna get what we're supposed to get.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
I mean,
you know, because you haven't stopped doing this.
No,
you're continuing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely. And I learned a lot about what it really is, what it really can do for us as a people.
Yeah, because
or
that
just
movie,
anybody as a people, or just changing the world.
Yes.
You know, the Lord. Because I remember one day I had went to see Amiri Baraka. And we had cause he's like, so you filmmaking, you know,
right?
So we was rapping about it, and I sat down and talked to him, and I didn't say one word for about 2 hours. I just listened to everything he had to say, and his insight on the art was so profound, and it's like I understood so much about what direction you could take people in with your art.
Yes.
You know, he enlightened me on that, and it's like a bulb lit in my head, and it's like, okay, this is what you got to do from this point on. You can't go putting ridiculous stuff on because people look at they follow that. You become a, you know, whatever with that if it gets big, and you don't want to lead people in the wrong way. Lead them in the right way. Give them the right messages, the positive images, and you know, help change what part you can change and leave your legacy the way you want to leave it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And listening to the people coming out of the movie theater with the outside the walls, it was everything was like so positive, and they just loved it.
Yeah, that's a good feeling, especially when your peers, your family, and your people you grew up with, when they can approve. New York is a tough city. A tough city. So when they approve something, I mean, it makes you feel like you're on your way. You're on your way to where you're supposed to be or where you're going. I went from people saying, "You're nuts, you ain't making no film," to people saying, "Well, what's your next film? Can I be in the next movie? Can I do this?" You know, it's one of them things.
Right.
So that's a beautiful thing, you know.
Right. And so, where do you see you going now? I mean, because you've done all of the preliminaries. All of that has been done. Your name is out there. Your face is out there. You know, so you're well known. You know, so where do you see yourself going now?
Well, you're always looking for that masterpiece.
Yes.
And I haven't. I don't think I've accomplished that yet. The masterpiece. So that's looking for that great script, looking for that great movie, that great, you know, that thing. So that's where I see myself. And I always say everything. Sometimes when I'm sitting in my studio, when I started, I had a rock in my hand, one rock. A guy had took me to California to the Emmys, and I didn't have any money. He said, "I'll pay for your way," and went to the Emmys. And when it was at a hotel, I took this rock out of the little water thing, and I kept that rock with me. So that's what I had started with, and I still have that rock today.
Wow. When
I look at it and I see all accomplishments, because sometimes I have to pinch myself and say, you know, I say, "Damn, well, you didn't really." When you look at Spikes and them and Tyler's and them, because I started around the same time they started. When you look at them, there's so much.
Yeah.
You know, Spike got a Lifetime Achievement Award for Academy Award. Tyler's making millions. Shaheed I'm grinding, but I'm eating.
Right.
You know, eating. So when you look at that, you say, wow, okay, you should be where they at. You know, I mean, that's how I kind of like look at it. Say, wow, what happened? You was one of the ones that getting picked in the bunch. But I'm grateful, man. You know, I get up and pray every day, 5 times a day, and my health is good. And you know, the limit is, who knows? Yeah. Who knows? You stay in something long enough.
That's right, and that's right. And then, as you said, you're waiting for that script.
Yeah, that great script.
That great script. And if we, you know, we can't we can't leave what we're doing,
No.
especially if we love
No,
what we're
I mean-
doing, because this is not work for you.
No,
Because it's a passion of
Yeah,
yours.
it's a passion. I was always told if you have a passion and a love, you can master something.
Right.
So that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
The
and everybody
mastery.
gets theirs at the time that they're supposed to get it.
Yeah, that Picasso painting. And if I don't get it, I'm still happy because I did what I wanted to do. You know, I walked away from a 9-to-5 about 35 years ago
Oh, wow.
and never looked back. Just kept on moving. And the sport, despite all the ups and downs and walking on the eggs and
Yeah.
crying in the house to my
Right.
wife saying, why don't you get a job? I like, this is a job.
This is a
This is a
job.
job. Trying to look for a job, trying to make it happen.
Right.
And it's just the journey, people, the journey is it. That's where you, when you on that journey, is so much fun when you go back and look at it, what you
Yes.
had to go through to get this done and make that done.
You're so right. And I just got the signal that we have to wrap everything up.
Okay.
But I just want to thank you so much, and please keep on doing what you're doing, because you are definitely making a difference.
Thank you.
Particularly, through the documentaries that you're
Yeah.
doing, because with incarceration and everything that's going on, we need to have those types of documentaries in the schools.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
So I want to thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Maryam Bey, and my guest has been Shaheed of
Canei Production.
Canei Productions. Have a great evening. Thank you.